Almost all American journalism is controlled by a few massive corporations. News Voice is a one-of-a-kind mobile app that tracks the bias and corporate interests that infuse the news stories we consume every day, and it's completely free to use. Go to newsvoice.com/Pakman to download it. So I'm getting more and more calls from viewers and listeners horrified that Donald Trump is going to cheat his way to re-election later this year. And your fears are real and that Donald Trump will try to cheat. The question is whether he will succeed and what we mean by cheating. And Heather Digby Parton has a really great article in Salon about this, and I'll mention a few of her points and a few of mine. She points out that as real as Joe Biden's leads in the polls right now may well be, Donald Trump will try to cheat, and it is going to take everything we have to keep him from re-election. Now, what do I mean by cheating? And I want to be really careful here. By cheating, I mean that failures and vulnerabilities in the system will lead to Donald Trump maybe being reelected, even when a Biden win would be the will of the people. So I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. Trump's opposition to vote by mail. This has been a big thing over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Whether we call it literal cheating, legal cheating, or simply suppressing the will of the people, Trump trying to win by making it so fewer people vote is cheating in the sense that it cheats democracy. It circumvents the will of the people. Yesterday, I told you about all the garbage math that we're going to be hit by in the coming months, where people who don't even understand growth rates and percentages are going to quickly be told that we're seeing the fastest growing economy in history in the upcoming third quarter, when what we're seeing is the start of a recovery from the largest declines of the last 100 years. So that's not literally cheating, but it is bamboozling vulnerable people with mathematical lies. Another example, Trump has an attorney general in place, William Barr. William Barr has made it clear that he has absolutely no moral and ethical scruples whatsoever. He will stop at nothing to help Donald Trump. Now, you might think, well, hold on a second, David. William Barr did recently say he's not going to prosecute Obama in the fake Obamagate scandal. He must realize that that's not okay. He's doing the ethical thing. No, all that means is that William Barr recognizes that in the large scheme of things, prosecuting Barack Obama for the bogus Obamagate fiasco. First of all, there's no crime Obama committed, so what could you really prosecute him for? He recognizes that it's not the right tool to use to try to propel Donald Trump to re-election. Election day is going to be absolute mayhem in red states. You're going to see people show up to vote and told that they're not registered due to voter purges. You're going to see the polling places that are open. We don't know how many it's going to be. It'll depend on the virus. You're going to see some polling places completely overloaded in key swing states like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Florida. You're going to see some so-called patriots showing up to do security at polling places, which of course will be hugely intimidating to certain voters. You're going to see, even in states that go for vote by mail, a concerted effort to disqualify ballots for bogus reasons. You're going to see coronavirus probably keep more Democrats at home than Republicans, because Democrats are more likely to understand and accept the medical science of coronavirus when Republicans are more likely to ignore it. So understand that we have an election coming up, and it's not unique in this sense, but it's exacerbated acutely in this particular election. We have an election coming up where one candidate wants to reduce the number of people that vote, and the other candidate wants as many people as possible to vote. Lastly, understand that this is only partially because of coronavirus. Even before the coronavirus pandemic, in 2017, there was a poll done asking, if Trump suggested postponing the election, would you support it? More than half of Republicans said they would. More than half of Republicans before the virus said, we would support postponing the election just on Trump's say-so. It's not going to happen this year. Remember that it's up to the states. There's not a federal election in November. What we have is an election of a federal government position, President of the United States, done by 50 individual state elections. Each state election is administered independently. But The anti-democratic tendencies of the Republican Party have been clear for a long time. It's scaled up because Donald Trump knows, it's not thinks, he knows, and he's right, that if he can keep disproportionately Democrats from voting, including by blocking vote by mail, he is in a much better position to potentially defeat Joe Biden in November. So what do we have to do? Well, number one, we've got to completely overwhelm the voting booths in November. And I hate that it's the only surefire method, but if we completely overwhelm the voting booths and vote by mail, absentee ballots, everything, that ensures that we win. Trump can only cheat so much. And if we don't allow him to prevent people from voting one way or another, that is very, very important. Now, secondly, we've got to keep pushing on vote by mail, particularly in certain states. And I'm going to address that a little bit more in the next segment. But understand, if we overwhelm the voting booths, he can't win. We just need to do it.